24/7.
Are you ready to talk about sex?
No, let's talk about relationships.
Or is it time to talk about dating, taboos?
It's on your mind.
So let's talk about it
On Nightlife 24/7.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Nightlife 24/7. As always, I'm your boy Mac. You see, I'm still working on adjusting everything around here. But what's up there, girl?
What's going on?
Oh, not much, not much. Trying to get these signs just the way I want them, but nothing ever seems to work the way I want. So check this out. Check this out. I actually have a story tonight that I'm on FetLife and I'm in different groups. So I ran across this story and I thought it was really interesting because approximately a year and a half ago, I remember doing a story about domestic partnership being legal in places like Boston. It's legal in 2 different counties now in Boston. So I'm going to read this story and then we're going to discuss it because I thought it was really, really interesting. Civil rights and marriage. I put polymarriage. In 2015, the U.S. Supreme Court struck down all state bans on same-sex marriage, legalized it in all 50 states, and required states to honor out-of-state same-sex marriage license in case of Oberge. I can never say the guy's name. Obergefell versus Hodges. Woohoo! Fantastic. The next civil rights hurdle will probably take a while. The next civil rights legislation concerning marriage should be for allowing multiple partner marriages, honoring the rights of poly community. Discrimination is always about denying rights to minority groups, and poly folks should probably start being more militant about demanding the rights to be heard. I now pronounce you husband and wives. I personally should also say wives and husbands. Okay? Men shouldn't be the only one that should be able to have multiple partners. Okay? So, with that being said, what are your thoughts about polymarriage? And do you think it's something that will be sustainable or come to fruition? Because there are multiple people now who are not hiding the fact that they are poly, and I'm talking about artists and actors.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is true. I got to think about that one. You know, we're just getting the hurdle. We're getting over the hurdle of the same-sex marriage. Now it's like, okay, we got to jump another hurdle for poly marriages. So it's like, how will they be able to see? I feel like every time the government can't figure out how to tax something or how the money works with it, they're going to shut it down. And right. I just feel like it's going to be the same thing with poly marriage, because it's like, well, how do you share the estate if someone passes away? How do you do with the benefits and all that kind of stuff? So it's like so much that's going to be included in it that it's going to be too overwhelming for government.
Well, see, David posed some questions to me today when he asked me what the topic was, and I told him. He said, well, what happens if, say, I marry Claudia and Claudia's married to you? Does that mean I'm married to you too? I said, technically no, but you're considered part of our domestic partnership. He said, well, what happens if you get hurt and it's to the point of life and death? Do I have the right to pull life support?
Right. Or does she?
Right. I mean, how does that work? He says, well, also, what about divorce? If you divorce Claudia and she gets alimony, do I get alimony too?
See, now that's a good question. All of those are really good questions.
Well, I know how it's presented in Boston in the counties because I did read up on it and I read it's been a while. But let's just say I married you, Melissa, and well, not married, but me, you, and Claudia all went together and we went down and signed the domestic partnership paperwork, right? Well, this is how it works as far as they are concerned. 6 months from now, Marissa says, you know what? I love them, but this just isn't working for me. Okay, I want out. All Marissa has to do is go sign one piece of paper, and she is immediately dissolved from that partnership. Now, the only catch to that is Marissa must wait 6 months before she jumps back in another domestic partnership on paperwork, not dating. You can date and do all you want to do, but you can't get into another domestic partnership legally for 6 months.
Now this sounds
I
like
think
a whole
that's cool.
radio station contract to me. You know how a DJ leaves a radio station and they can't a DJ for another radio station for the next 6 months? It's the same exact concept is what I'm saying. It's crazy.
Yeah, but I don't know that, but it's funny to me because let's just say you meet someone, Marissa, after 6 months and one day, and y'all decide you can jump right back in another one.
That's
but
dangerous.
The one thing I did like about I thought it was too, because that person basically can what I call potholing, where they just jump in and out of relationships.
Mm-hmm.
But they did legalize the fact that if we were to sign paperwork as the domestic partners in Boston, we could own property together. We could own businesses together. I could put you on my insurance, like a married couple.
Right. But then it gets tricky because if it dissolves, now she wants to fight. Well,
then you got to go back. Now you got to go back and do all that paperwork to get them off.
Exactly. And that is going to be a hot mess. Because divorce
but that's the same as a marriage.
One person.
So let's just say I met you.
I was saying,
yeah, that's a lot of work, because some companies tell you, well, hey, we can't take that person off until the start of the year because that's when we renew everything.
Well, health plans,
So
if you have a life-changing event that happens, whether it's marriage, divorce, or death, you can remove the person or add the person in the middle of before the enrollment time. But after that, if it's just you want to, like if you just want to add your child or something like that, then, you have to wait till the beginning of the year.
Okay. Yeah. So whether it's a woman who is marrying multiple male partners or not marrying, but obtaining a domestic partnership, or a male with multiple females, I look at so many different aspects of it. David had some really good points, but my thing is, what happens when it comes to the kids? Let's just say there are children involved, and the mother of the child is in a car wreck and passed away. Now this person is stuck with 3 kids. Does he have a legal right to take care of the kids, or does the immediate family come and now can have the kids?
Exactly. See, that's why it's so important, ladies and gentlemen, to have a living will. Because the will trump everything that's out there.
Okay.
Besides life insurance, because the life insurance company has to honor whoever's the beneficiary.
Gotcha. So that for me is just, there's just so much there. I'm just like, wow. And I should have had David on because, but he had other stuff he's doing that, because he was just posing some questions that was just like, I don't know, dude. I mean, I don't know what. I don't foresee poly marriage becoming a thing in my lifetime. I think domestic partnership will continue to grow, and I think it will grow state by state, and each state will have their own rules for it.
Well, you know, Georgia's going to be the last one, so just get ready.
Georgia's the last one always.
Exactly.
But Georgia can't find a way to get the money immediately. They don't want to be bothered.
They don't want to be, exactly.
Yeah. If one of the people, senators, governors, Congress, they can't find a way to make money off of it, you can about forget it. It's done. It's over. We ain't discussing it. We ain't talking about it. It ain't on the bill. I don't even know why you done brought it up. I mean,
we can't even get daylight savings together.
Georgia is such a money state. Oh wow, she had to go there. So
I mean, I heard
is
Florida.
That something?
I heard Florida just.
So what now?
Florida had, you know, they had voted in 2018 to remove daylight savings time. It is just getting to the House.
Wow. I don't know, man. I don't know what to say about. Yeah, I don't know. I really just don't know. I mean, because you could tell I'm lost. I really am. I'm just like, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, if it doesn't make dollars, it don't make sense.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Okay. We're both poly people. Would you consider a domestic partnership? Have you ever thought about seriously a domestic partnership?
Never crossed my mind.
Okay, never crossed your mind. So it's not something you would even consider now, given the opportunity. I mean, and I know, and just for you guys, I'm only asking her this because Marissa is someone that's very special to me, and she had some things happen, and that's none of y'all business. But I'm only asking as a person who would say, I want to know what are your thoughts, even if that hadn't happened. Because you almost had a domestic partnership.
Yeah.
Me and your boy. Yeah. So you'd have been lucky. Women would have been like, damn, girl.
But, you know, I don't know. It would, you know, as far as the companionship part of it and to have the support, definitely it's something I would consider now, because going through that, I wouldn't say I went through that by myself. It's just now that I'm in the home by myself.
It definitely felt that way, though.
Exactly. And it hits different. So it would be nice to have that and still have someone who still has a piece of my heart instead of one person and now the whole thing has just crumbled.
Gotcha. I got you. Yeah, I totally get what you're saying. I totally get it. I won't even lie. I don't personally see myself, and this is my thoughts, and I haven't hid them or lied about them to anyone. I don't see myself probably ever getting married again. I'm not saying it won't happen. I'm not saying that. Who knows? Maybe I'll move to Costa Rica, Puerto Rico, Dominican, and find me 2 or 3 females, and boom, there it is. But
so why do you gotta wait?
At this moment,
hold on. Let's go back. Why do you have to move to Costa Rica, Puerto Rico, or Dominican Republic to get what you want? Why you can't stay in the States?
It is a lot harder to obtain that type of lifestyle here in the United States, and Mostly American, not all, but most, the majority, still have the singular view and monogamous view of dating and being with someone. A lot of people don't understand or can understand or conceptualize the thought of being more than one person in that relationship. I get hit up all the time with questions. Or I thought about it, or I'm curious. I would like to give it a try, and then their jealousy comes out, or they realize, oh wow, I'm not the complete center of attention. He has to divide his attention, and a lot of people can't accept that. And then those who are just grown up with societal view of monogamy, and they don't even want to even understand. But I try to explain to them: if you have children, you love all your children. Why can't you love more than one person? Though you may
That's a
love
good
them
way.
differently, you still love them.
Right.
So
That's a great way of
that
putting it.
that's my stand and view on it.
Hmm.
Yeah. So I yes, would I like that? Would I enjoy that? Very much so. And people think I'm saying that because oh, I'm a man and I have 2 or 3 women, so I'm just having an orgy all the time. That's bullshit. I'm saying it here in front to you right now. That's bullshit. Uh, there's different personalities. There's different times of the month that each one's gonna have their period. There's different characteristics about each one that you have to make and pay attention to that makes them feel loved and wanted and cared for. Um, I I admit to anyone, I will admit to anyone, I've never hid it. I still won't hide it. I am not a very emotional person.
Nope.
I'm just not. I when the woman that I love so much, my stepmother and my passed away, and then my grandmother, who was my world, passed away. I I made a promise I would just never cry for another woman. For those women were everything to me, and it hurt. So um, I've had so many people lie to me, cheat on me, steal from me. So to me, it's better to just be safe than sorry. Um, Also, for the fact that I find myself always, I always am giving all of me and willing to commit to them in ways that are different for me, but they're not willing to commit the same for me. So I'm just like, I'm good. I'm good. Yeah. So I don't want to come off like, oh, I'm just a hard ass and I don't care, this and that. For me, if that person can't make the same sacrifices for me that I'm making for them, then yeah, it's a one-sided relationship. It's in my opinion. That's just my opinion. Okay. Um, I think we all deserve happiness, and sometimes happiness doesn't come just from one person. I've always said this: one person can't be everything to you. They just can't be. That's unfair. That's crazy. I have people that I hang out with because we like just going out and doing things out in the open, shooting, hunting, fishing, that kind of stuff. So then I have friends I love hanging out with because we're in the movies and we get into Marvel and DC and you know what I mean?
Yeah, you always have that
Does that make sense?
different group of friends.
Well, it's the same way when you're in a poly relationship.
Hmm.
Each partner brings something totally different to the relationship, and a certain part of them is what attracts you to them. You may have one partner who loves cooking, but you have another one who hates cooking, but she loves cleaning up. You have
Hmm.
another partner who loves to go out camping and hiking, whereas another one like, the best hiking and camping you got in me is a cabin. And that's it. So
Yeah.
I, I'm hoping I'm making logical sense to people who are listening to the show or will listen to the show later on, you know, that just because you have different partners doesn't mean that you're just having sex all the time. Um,
That is so true.
I've had a relationship with someone for 2 years and we never slept together.
Wow.
Never. But it was one of the best relationships ever. We weren't sexually into each other, and we weren't sexually like that with each other. We just enjoyed each other's company, and we had so much fun going out to art shows and museums, and she was a foodie, and we just enjoyed each other.
Yeah, it's just,
But
you
I
know,
know
like,
some people like, oh hell no.
well, I mean, I look at it as this way. It's like Baskin Robbins. You get 31 flavors. Which one you want today?
That's how you look at it.
Yeah,
That's
because
how you
sometimes you
okay.
want chocolate,
I'm
sometimes you want vanilla, sometimes you want strawberry. You know, next time you might want Rocky Road.
I must be that 80% chocolate cacao that's got nuts in it.
Oh my gosh. You're a whole banana sundae. How about that?
I'm just all fucked up, huh? So, okay. Well, getting back to the topic. So, I don't know. You're right. I think you're 150% correct in saying that how the federal government will write this up or accept this or deal with this is going to be hard because there's so many different legalities to it: children, businesses, insurance, death, money, property. I mean, there's a lot of stuff. You know, I mean, when you get a divorce, they ask you, are there any children? Do you own property together?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, those are just the two major questions right off the bat.
It is on that settlement agreement. Is definitely those two questions, and the last one is, if it's the lady, do you want to restore your last name?
Yep. See, I guess with domestic partnership, you don't have to change your name unless you choose to.
Right. But what if the woman chooses to?
So,
and the guy is like, I don't
right,
want to
now she's got to. Right. So yeah, see that in itself right there is a complication.
Exactly. Do you hyphenate the name? Does both women take his name? Does one hyphenate one? It's just too much. I will be so lost.
Well, let me ask you this. As a woman, is it easier to get rid of in a marriage, or let's just say domestic partnership? Would it be easier to get rid of a hyphen name added on versus the full name? Or is it the same?
I mean, it's both of them is the same process to me, because you got to go through. You have to go through the driver's license department. You have to go through the Social Security department. But then, not to mention, you also have to deal with your credit cards. And then you got to make sure that your airline has the right name, because you can't book it under your maiden name, because TSA is going to think you're a different person. I went through that, guys, at the top of my note.
Yeah, she just went through that. She just went through that. Wow, yeah, she just went through that. So that's, yeah. And believe me, guys and ladies, she was not happy about that shit at all. She was pissed.
Oh, don't worry. Delta got a lot of it. That little survey they sent. I said, you want to know? I'm about to tell you. Get ready. I have never dealt with that in my entire.
You like, I got a lot on my mind to say today.
Oh yeah, I said you picked the right one today. But yes, like all that, and then to think about it, this is another thing that's going to get really tricky. Is like, okay, so are we changing the kids' last names? If
I was
so,
just thinking that
do we have to?
Am I
do we
allowed to adopt a kid?
Exactly. See, like all that comes into play now, and that's why I said it just gets real messy real quick. That's probably why it's just best to have that sheet of paper and just be like, I'm out.
I'm out. Now one sheet of paper, I'm out.
Yeah, just one sheet of paper, because all that other stuff, when you start thinking about things like that to make it really legal, the way society has it in their minds, where you have to have the house together and the cars together and property and the bank accounts. We even talk about the bank accounts yet.
Oh my God, I didn't even say bank accounts. Yeah.
So now we got to worry about the bank accounts. Who has access to the bank accounts?
Wow.
And you already know there's two things that people get pissed off about. Is they food and they money.
Finance is the first one. Finance is the first.
Yep. And don't forget food.
That's it. Well, let me ask you this. Let's just say, hypothetically, a person meets someone and decides to do domestic partnership and they own land. They move them out on their land. This person who owns everything dies. Does now the land automatically go to its partnership, or does the state come and take it?
Well, see, the thing is, what we have to figure out is with the states that honor the partnership, do they honor it as a marriage? Because if that's the case, then it's going to go to the next of kin, which would be the person who's in that partnership. Now, if they don't honor it as like a marriage, it is going to go to the person's kids or their parents.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, wow. There's so many questions to domestic violence. Let me ask you this, and this is just your opinion, period. Do you think that the state should legalize the domestic partnership in that way? Or should it be done state by state, county by county?
It needs to be state by state, county by county right now, because people still getting a feel of things and not really seeing like how it can affect everything. Like same-sex marriage, same-sex marriage was easy because we could treat it like regular marriage. It's just two, same people, male, female, but they still have the rights like a man and a woman would, which I never understood why they didn't do that from the beginning. But anywho, that's just another story. But for this one, because you're not talking about two people, you're talking about multiple that are involved. It's going to have to be a state-to-state thing. It's going to have to be a lot of vetting with these people when they're getting in partnerships with people, because they got to make sure they're getting in partnerships with the right person. Because now you're trusting this person.
Yes. Now you brought up a question. You done made me think of a question. Should if this person is going to go into a domestic partnership which has been legalized by that state, are they required to go through therapy and counseling before the marriage?
And see now that you brought that up, when people get divorced, and I know here, like in Georgia, in certain counties, if you're getting divorced, you cannot get a divorce until you go through family counseling if children are involved.
Wow, did not know that.
So now you got the children involved in your mess.
Well, let me ask you this. Because of certain religions and certain states, Utah, Pennsylvania, and places like that, who have Mormons and other different groups, what happens if I find myself attracted to you, but then also now your cousin is involved in our relationship, or even your actual sister, sister?
Hold on. See, now we're going too far. You're going too far now.
I'm just saying.
You've gone too far.
Right, but you understand what I'm saying, though, because you've seen it. We've watched these shows on TV.
Yes, we have. And that's just something I wouldn't agree upon. You're not going to be with me and my sister. Just not going to happen. You're not going to be me and my cousin either. That is just not going to happen on my town. On my side of town. Nah. That ain't for me. Let it be some other person you just met. I don't know her. She don't know me. We learning each other. Yes, let's do that. But not somebody I'm related to? Oh, hell no.
Yeah, but you even on the shows that I've watched, me and Jeremiah were dating, and I just love the way he takes care of me and my child. And my sister, she realized that this was a lifestyle for her, and we all love him, and he's such a great family man. And now, you know what I'm saying? You come on now. I'm not joking.
I know you're not joking, but then again, we're going to have to look at who does it.
right? Because my thing is bloodlines. That's my thing.
We've seen Game of Thrones.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Crossing.
That don't go well. That don't go well when you try to keep it in the bloodline.
Right,
They're
that doesn't go well at
crazy.
all. Some people are a little crazy, and some people
Thank you.
just, yeah. Yeah.
That would be a no
That
for me.
just, yeah, that's just too much for me. I don't know what else to say. Yeah. Okay. I will not lie. I will not lie and not say I have not been in relationships where I was dating the mother and the daughter. Um, that has only happened since I've been here in Atlanta, multiple times. Well, actually, I'm not gonna lie. That's been since I've been in the state of Georgia. Not let's just say Atlanta, in the state of Georgia. Um, being with actual sisters who have the same mother, same father. Yeah. Um, I've dated cousins. Yeah. So if I like you, I like you. You could be your ass could be purple with yellow hair. I don't really give a shit what anybody else thinks.
So here's my question: what attracts you to someone to become your partner? What makes it? What do you see, and you be like, okay, that person, I want her.
For me, there's three things I think, and loyalty is the first one, honesty, and the third one is the survival. If it's just me and you take care of us, just like I'm gonna take care of us. But if there's three of us, you take care of the group. You're about the group, and the group is about you. Does that make sense to you?
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
But the first two is honesty and loyalty right off the front. Because if I can't trust you, then I don't want to be with you. I just can't.
Mm-hmm.
But that third one has ended many relationships because if I'm sacrificing or changing, not because I have to change, but I'm changing part of who I am to try new things or do new things or new ideas and concepts that are going to better our relationship, and you're not willing to make those changes, at some point, I'm going to say, I'm done because this isn't working for me. But that's me. And that third one, number one and number one, honesty, and number three have ended relationships. Because I won't settle. I just won't settle.
Okay.
Loyalty, it hasn't ended as many relationships as the first two. First, number one and three. So, okay. But all right, do you think that domestic partnership or marriages will take place in the next 10 years?
How long it took for same sex?
Oh, girl, that was a battle for what? Oh my God, that's been what, the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s.
So it's gonna
that battle was fought.
Triple that.
Yeah, that battle is what? That battle was many years.
It's
many decades. Many decades.
We'll see it. I don't see it being common anytime soon.
Well, you say that, but we've had a black president. We got a black female vice president.
Well, how long that took?
Yeah, true. But the only reason I'm saying that is more and more of the younger generation is getting into politics and changing the way things are.
Yeah, but they're not as strong as the generation that like we came from. We still need to get on board. We still need to get on board. We're the ones who's back there, the old school life, and that's what's holding up everything with politics, as far as the changes that need to be made in government.
Right. Yeah, because a lot of the old heads, then they haven't left. They've been in there 20, 30 years. Most of them are dying off or, finally starting to retire. But those old heads are still there.
Mm-hmm. And they holding on.
Yeah. They're not walking away so easily.
No.
Do you think that with domestic partnership / marriage, polymarriage, that places like Nevada, Utah, Pennsylvania, who has these different groups, religious groups who already believe in it, live it, have been living it that way for hundreds of years, they will fall into line quicker than the other states will?
Not necessarily, because like I said, it depends on the state. It's going to really depend on the state. Like I could see California, easing into it because hell, it's California. Everything's laid back over there. Right. I could see, Washington, places that have places that have legalized weed, they're gonna be all right with it.
Okay. Colorado, places
exactly,
like that.
Colorado, Washington, who else? Kentucky, I think also is legalized. So like places like that where they're not like so hard on the government stuff and politics about money. I can see that, but it's going to be a long time before we see changes across the whole nation. That's not going to happen anytime soon.
You say DC, but you know why? The only reason I think DC would fall in line because all those damn congressmen up there who doing more than they should be.
Yeah.
They married and got all these different women and men on the side. Yeah.
And on the side.
Well, yeah, some of them are hidden, and some of them are.
Yeah.
They're not putting it out there. So I'm just saying it is what it is, and I accept it for what it is. So it doesn't bother me or move me in one direction or the other.
Exactly.
My question to you then, if you think at some point it's going to take probably the same amount of time or even longer than it took for same-sex marriages, then should we do like what you used to do? Remember, gay couples used to go to Canada and places like that and get married. And
yeah, did. People are going to do that anyway because that's what they were doing before same-sex marriage happened. They were going to like places like you said, Canada, California, places that were already legalized. They're going to just travel. Now the thing is,
you think there may be a larger influx of people going to Boston to do the paperwork? But if they do the paperwork, hold on, I'm gonna give you a second part there. Is there a larger influx that may be starting to go to Boston to get the paperwork done as the domestic partnership? And if they do the paperwork to become domestic partners, does the state that they come back to have the legal right to follow it or acknowledge it?
That's what I was wondering because I for like those who got married in Canada, when they came back to the States, I don't know if their marriage was actually honored.
They weren't.
See, so if they weren't, then it's going to be the same exact thing. So you can get married and do all that stuff, but if it's not honored, it's like defeats the purpose.
Right. I mean, if it's almost saying you got married here, now you need to stay here.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So,
but I ain't
gonna lie to nobody.
I'm in different poly groups.
Too damn cold for me.
I'm in different poly groups, and I don't see people really talking about poly marriages. That's just not something that they're talking about right now.
Most of them only talking about finding that perfect group of people or tribe or community that they want to be with. That's it. Rarely have I heard them saying, hey, I want, right. It's always about finding the right group of people or the tribe or the community.
Yeah, right. So I don't know. Because I don't see that type of topics popping, being very popular in the groups that I'm in. I don't know if that's really on the radar right now.
Okay. So, to my listeners, I want to pose this question to you, and I hope I make it make sense. Sometimes that which is necessary that you feel is necessary to happen, is it the right time for it to happen? Everything I believe has a time and a place, and it happens when it's necessary. Maybe it is not the time for legalized domestic partnerships or marriages. I'm not saying it shouldn't be. I'm just saying maybe that time hasn't come yet. More and more people are starting to open up their eyes and views to more than one partner. But that in itself is an uphill battle. That in itself messes with a lot of people's mental state, and the green-eyed monster tends to show itself in many, many different ways. Let's just say hypothetically you came into a relationship and there's a hierarchy. Please don't sit here and tell me there's no way possible. None of y'all said, well, she number one. Well, I want her spot. Don't even sit up and tell me that wouldn't even come across your mind, because it does. That's human nature and competition. And we've been taught to compete and fight for our mate. Not saying it's wrong, not saying it's right. What I'm saying is that is societal views and thoughts on the relationship and marriage. So I pose this to you. If this is something that you think that is legitimized and should be legalized, then first I would want you to more than anything, try to understand how it's going to work. Because there are so many, oh my God, Marissa hit it right on the head. There are so many different aspects to this and legalities to this. I don't know, wow. Because some divorces can take a couple of years, not just two people. So what happens when you got 3 to 6 people in a domestic partnership? I got friends who are in poly relationships, and there's 10 people in that relationship, and they actually have a board on the wall as far as date night, who does this, who does that, who when the kids' games are. Friends of mine who live in Utah, they all live in the exact same house as a couple, as one unit, and there's 6 of them. 6 of them. They all show up to the kids' games, the PT meetings, everything. My friend who lives in Florida, he had 11. I think there's 8 in there now. Because when COVID started, they had someone who had some people had immune issues and stuff like that. So they kind of ended that to protect them and make sure they were safe. So when you have that many people involved in a domestic partnership slash marriage, man, how do you even go about property, insurance, finances, children, kids? Wow, that's a lot. That's all I'm gonna say. That's a lot. So think about that. I put that thought in your mind, and hopefully it'll stick with you. Any last words there, Marissa, on the topic for tonight?
Just I don't know what to say. If this is something that y'all really want, you're just gonna have to fight for it. Just like how we've done before for other things, for change to happen. Just be mindful that it may take longer than usual, because we have a society that is very closed-minded. So
and don't expect it to happen down here in the Bible Belt anytime soon.
That part, we're just getting 12 where we could actually serve liquor on Sundays. We're not going to talk.
Yeah. Bible Belt, I don't see it happening anytime soon. Thank you guys for joining the show and listening to the show as you always do. As I say on my show every time, and I'm going to keep preaching it, we're put on this earth to help someone, and if you can't do anything to help them, I ask that you don't do anything more to harm them. With that, I'm going to say thank you to my co-host tonight, Marissa. I appreciate you as always.
Anytime.
And I will see you guys. we're going to say bye to you guys now and enjoy the rest of your evening. Talk to you later.
We at Nightlife 24/7 appreciate you, our listener, who has an open mind and heart and are able to listen, learn, and discuss those issues that affect you and your partner. By discussing these issues, we hope to keep the lines of communication open to help inform you, our listener, and our community. It's on your mind, so let's talk about it on Nightlife 24/7.